Hello and welcome back. We have another book about Memorial Day. We are going to read this one, Holidays, Memorial Day. Let's get started. It's a non-fiction text, so we have our table of contents that tells us what we are going to read about and on what page the content is on. Memorial Day. Memorial Day honors the men and women of the American Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, and Marines who died while serving their country. Memorial Day is a national holiday in the United States. It is celebrated on either May 30 or 31st. Memorial Day began as a holiday to remember the American soldiers who died in the Civil War, 1861 to 1865. As more wars were fought, it became a day for Americans to honor and remember their dead from all wars. The first Memorial Day. Hundreds of thousands of Americans lost family members and friends in the Civil War. The war fought between the northern and southern states. After the war ended, people wanted a special way to remember the brave soldiers who died. On May 5, 1866, the village of Waterloo, New York, had held a ceremony to honor their Civil War dead. 100 years later, the U.S. Congress officially named Waterloo as the birthplace of the Memorial Day holiday. Decoration Day. After the Civil War, former Northern soldiers founded a veterans organization called the Grand Army of the Republic, GAR. Members of the GAR held a special ceremony on May 30, 1868 to decorate the graves of Northern soldiers. The ceremonies were repeated each year. The day became known as Decoration Day. The official name was changed to Memorial Day in 1882. Celebrations in the South. Because Memorial Day began as a holiday to remember Northern soldiers, several Southern states still celebrate their own Memorial Days. They honor the soldiers who died fighting for the South, which had formed the Confederate States of America during the Civil War. In Virginia, for example, the last Monday in May is Confederate Memorial Day. Texas celebrates Confederate Heroes Day on January 19. So this one shows the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. honors the American soldiers who died in Vietnam. On right-hand side, the bronze statue Spirit of American Youth Rising from the Waves by Donald D. Lew honors the nearly 10,000 U.S. soldiers who died in the attack on German positions in France in June 1944. Gettysburg National Military Park. One of the worst battles of the Civil War was fought at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania in 1863. Thousands of brave men from the North and the South died during the terrible fighting. President Abraham Lincoln made part of the battlefield a cemetery. Today, the site is Gettysburg National Military Park. Each Memorial Day ceremonies at Gettysburg honor those brave soldiers of long ago. Arlington National Cemetery. Arlington National Cemetery in Arlington, Virginia is the final resting place for thousands of American soldiers, an American soldier from each of 4 wars: World War I, World War II, the Korean War, and the Vietnam War is buried in Arlington's Tomb of the Unknowns. They are soldiers who were never identified and remained unknown but to God. Known but to God. Each Memorial Day, a ceremony is held at the Tomb of the Unknowns. An honor guard of American soldiers place a wreath on the tomb, and a boog sounds the clear, sad notes of taps. Veterans groups. The American Legion and Veterans of Foreign Wars (VFW) are large organizations of U.S. veterans. Veterans are former soldiers, the men and women of America's Air Force, Army, Navy, Coast Guard, and Marines. Some veterans who fought as long ago as World War I, 1914 to 1918, are still living today. Members of Veterans Group help organize Memorial Day ceremonies and take part in those events. Veterans groups also help care for disabled veterans and the families of veterans who have died. Remembering. America takes time out on Memorial Day to honor the memory and sacrifice of its dead heroes. Do you know how many Americans have died in the battle since the Civil War? Over 115,000 American soldiers died in Europe during World War I. More than 400,000 Americans died in World War II, which was fought in many parts of the world, including the Aleut Island of Alaska. Together, the Korean War 1950 to 1953 and the Vietnam War 1965 to 1973 took the lives of more than 100,000 American soldiers. Celebrating Memorial Day. Many special Memorial Day programs help living Americans remember those who died in war. Towns and cities throughout the United States hold parades with marching bands, veterans, and soldiers. Americans decorate veterans' graves with wreaths, flowers, and flags. On Memorial Day, with ceremony and prayerful silence, America honors the brave veterans it lost in battle. The end. We have our glossary words here and index. I hope you guys have enjoyed this book and you learned something new from the book. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Have a great day.